Hey guys, I'm Rob.
I'm Jonathan.
Welcome to another episode of the Casual Podcast.
Guys, tonight we have a huge guest. I'm a huge fan of him. Rob's a huge fan of him. He's currently the number 8 ranked bantamweight in the UFC. Let's give it up for Jimmie Rivera. Jimmy.
What's up?
How
There
are
he
you?
is. What's up, man?
I think you're sideways on our screen, but
Hold on one second. Let me fix it.
perfect. There you go.
There we go.
Is that good?
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect. Yep.
All right, cool.
Jimmy, thank you so much for joining us here. As I mentioned to you before, everybody is. You got a lot of fans out there, man.
Yeah.
Where I do, I know. I don't know. I sometimes people come up to me and they're like, Jimmie Rivera. I'm like, yeah. Like, can I get a picture of you? I'm like, of course, But I just think just a regular dude. I mean, you guys see me fight, and just like other people. Like I've met a tremendous amount of people just in general with fighting and everything. And what's cool is that like you get to know them. And some guys are cool, some are assholes or they're cocky, but a lot of the guys you meet are really cool. Like, I got to meet Mickey Rourke backstage one time.
Oh, no kidding.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah, I had Jennifer Lopez's kids. Well, just the one kid, her and Mark Anthony's kid Max trained with me.
Wow.
I've had, actually a good friend who's a good friend of mine now. He's a country singer, Brantley Gilbert. So you meet some people, then, you build relationships, or, all of a sudden you end up being good friends. Like, hey, when are we going on a hunting trip, et cetera.
I love it, dude. I love it.
That's awesome.
Well, again, thank you for joining us. We're going to jump right into this interview. So, Jimmy, I mean, this is incredible. You're currently the number 8 ranked bantamweight, arguably one of the toughest divisions there is right now in the UFC. Your only losses in the UFC came from Jan Moraes and Sterling, who are all top contenders. You even beat future Hall of Famer Uriah Faber. You went the distance with the champ. And now, currently, after the Sandhagen and Moraes fight, there's been a lot of movement at the top of the rankings there. So I just wanted to ask you, like, what's your game plan and your timeline right now to kind of climb the rankings and get into title contention?
I'm just taking it fight by fight. So I was supposed to fight in October, but then they did all the international cards. So they want to try to keep more of the international fighters on those cards, obviously. So I'm supposed to be fighting in November. I haven't got a contract yet, so I don't, that's why I'm not naming who I'm supposed to fight or anything like that. So I just kind of wait for that. But I just been training. I mean, I know they're, backed up and trying to get shows on and filling up cars as they go. I mean, I think it's one thing having fights in Vegas, another thing flying people from the States or all over the country to Abu Dhabi for the Fight Island. And then at the same time, all the COVID tests that they're doing, it's crazy, but it just shows you it can be done. It shows a lot of work, but it can be done.
How often do they test you guys when you're actually like during fight week?
We got tested 4 times, I think.
Oh, dude, I got tested once. I was like, I'm up here doing my Netflix show, and I got tested once before I flew to Toronto. It was like the worst experience ever, dude. It's like a 6-inch.
Did you do nose or mouth?
Nose, and I had to do double swabs.
Oh my God, it's horrible.
It's horrible, man. Yeah.
After defeating Sean O'Malley, Marlon Vera said he wants to fight either you, Jose Aldo, or Dominic Cruz. He is ranked 15. So is that even a fight you would even consider?
It's been back and forth with it. I'd rather get a fight that it will help me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I know all guys want to climb ladder, but I want to get a fight that'll help me. Like, what would help me, like, climb the rankings, obviously, that would benefit me the most. I mean, fighting Chito Vera wouldn't. I mean, if he fought Aldo and beat Aldo, then I'd be like, all right, that fight's going to benefit me for sure, fighting Chito. But that's the kind of way I look at it. But I just kind of go what the UFC says.
Right.
There's been a lot of that too, like what Rob was saying, like, calling people out is like the new thing to do after your fight, I don't, like, back in the day, I don't think has that stuff like amped up more?
It has, you know what I mean? It's becoming more entertainment than fighting sometimes. But I really like some people could talk shit and they're good at it. And then like McGregor give an instance, or some people are really corny, like Scudo, cringy kind of thing. But everybody's a little different. I like to just go out there and fucking put a show on it for the fans. You know what I mean? That's my trash talk. Like beat the shit out of the guy. So that's how I felt with like Statement. Like Statement, I wish I did more, but it was also tough because once, I threw some hands on him, he kind of stayed more distance than I wish he did. But it was just funny. It was just like, he said he thought I would be bigger when we were at weigh-ins. I'm like, bro, I'm a bantamweight, so are you. I'm like, how big do you want? Like, and I just thought it was funny. And then after the fight, I'm like, oh, did I still feel small to you? And like kind of walked away. And then I said good fight and all that. I kept my respect, but I was like, bro, I'm a bantamweight. But then I also heard he cut down 20 pounds to make 145. I'm like, wow. I had to cut
that's a big dude.
Yeah, I had to cut like 2 pounds to make 45.
Right.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize how big, but some of the guys are big. You could tell, like, when you watch fights, you got like Aldo, you got Marlon, those guys, and they're big guys. They cut a lot of weight to get to 35. So when you go into distance, especially a 5-round fight, it's gonna hurt you in the long run.
Right.
I'm glad you brought up Steinman. So I mean, dude, you had an impressive win. You were firing on all cylinders during that fight, and you literally took that fight on like last minute notice, right?
Yeah,
so,
I got the call Monday, and I left Thursday morning to Vegas.
That's insane. So let me ask you, what factors do you usually take into consideration when you're deciding whether or not to take a last-minute fight?
It comes more of a styles, to be honest with you. But, I mean, it all depends on the last-minute fight, too. I mean, styles is important for me. Like, I look at styles and what styles I match up with well. But then, I mean, if it's a last-minute fight and they're saying, oh, I want you to fight for the belt or you're going to fight for the number one contendership, like, you can't just say no. Like, all right. That's why, one of the things I said and talked about, it's like, this is a prime time if you're a UFC fighter or close to getting UFC, just be ready. Train all the time. Be ready. Be in shape because you never know when you're going to get the call. And if you do get a last-minute call, I mean, you notice guys have been fighting at catch weights or up a weight class. So this way they can, make the weight. I mean, again, it's tough last minute when you get a call on a couple of days' notice to fight. So that's why we fought at 45. Right. But just be ready all the fucking time. That's the best thing you can do.
Right. So even though it was last minute, I mean, did you feel it was beneficial to not have to cut any weight? Is that a big difference? Yeah.
Big difference from cutting from 8 to 10 pounds to 2 pounds.
Right.
Huge difference.
After your interview too, in the post fight, you said you were talking. You mentioned that you saw where your cardio was. Did that have to do with fighting up a weight class? Do you think?
You know what? It's more not having a full camp, but I probably was in better shape than I was giving myself. I just, I guess it could be a psychological thing too. If you don't do all the things you're supposed to do for a fight, you go in there and you don't feel as confident if you did all the things you're supposed to do. So it could be psychological, but I wasn't tired in the fight, and I definitely wasn't as tired as Statement was. He was super tired. And I think that, comes with taking last minute fight and not having a full camp, but at the same time, cutting so much weight. Like he cut 20 pounds, I think I heard, to get to 45. I'm like, hey, dude, that's just 45. You would have to cut 30 to get to 135. I'm like, that's crazy.
I was chatting with Jalen Turner yesterday, and we were I was just like talking to him about weight cutting and stuff like that. And I was like, so what do you usually do? Like a 6-week weight cut? And he's like, 6 weeks? He's like, you usually drop like 20 to 25 pounds in 6 days. Wow. And I was like, I don't
know how those guys do it.
I couldn't fucking believe it. He was talking about, just water manipulation, and he broke down his whole system, and it was, he's like, it's miserable. He's like, it's absolutely miserable, but I guess it does give you the advantage when you rehydrate and you're that much bigger than the guy you're fighting.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they did like wrestling when I was in high school, they had hydration tests. The only thing I think would be healthier for the fighters is that fighting at their natural weights, but you would see a lot of guys move up to weight classes. You're like, oh, I didn't think that guy would be that big. Right. I mean, you have some guys at 45 that walk around 175, 180.
Right.
Holy shit.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, that's how One Championship does it over in Singapore. And they actually, all their weight classes are just up, like featherweights are 155, for example. So do you think that the UFC will ever go in that direction, or do you think it's pretty normal?
No, I don't think they will go in that direction.
Yeah.
But it's, I would love it as a fighter not
Right.
having to cut a lot of weight. Oh, like fighting at 45 was great, cutting 2 pounds.
Right.
Love it. I would love it. But then again, like if I stayed at 45 and all these other guys are at 45, they're big guys, really big guys, you know? So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have to drop to 35.
Well, that's true. That's true too. 'Cause, I mean, you look at McGregor; he was fighting at 145, and then he was like cutting to fight at welterweight. It's like you're talking about a guy who literally walks around probably 180, and he was fighting at fucking 45.
Yeah, but he didn't cut that much for welterweight. He cut like 4 or 5 pounds, but he cut a lot.
Okay.
But he cut a little bit more for 55. You know,
Right.
he cut 15 to 20 pounds for 55, and then when he was fighting at 45, he was cutting a shit ton of weight, a lot of weight at 40 to get to 45. You see the difference of similarities of pictures of him at 45 and 55. It's a huge difference.
It's almost unrecognizable seeing him when he was cutting a 45. I mean, his face would be so drawn out. It was.
Yeah.
It's just not fucking healthy.
Kind of
man.
like
not really,
it's definitely too
good
much.
for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not good at all for you.
All right, so you were on an unprecedented 20-fight win streak before your first loss to Marias in the UFC, which that's incredible, man. And I give you all the props in the world. That
Thank you so much.
You don't see that kind of streak these days in the UFC or in mixed martial arts at all.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, like, going into a fight with a huge win streak or going into a fight coming off a loss, what adds more pressure?
I would say coming off a loss adds more pressure, especially if you had like I had my last 2 fights were 2 in a row. Like I had Jan, which was a close fight, and then I had Sterling, which I just didn't show up. So like fighting statement, like I really wanted to get my hand raised, get the win. Like I don't want to keep having a losing streak. So I think coming off a loss, it's a lot more pressure than coming off a win.
Right. So and prior to the UFC, you were on a 15-fight win streak, which is amazing, you know, and it's odd because not odd, but it's like, you know, you look at Kamaru Usman, who he was 15-1, which was your record, almost your record coming into the UFC, and he was already a champion by that point. So it's like you had to fight so many guys, so many different organizations, and you destroyed all of them, and then you finally got the call. So what was that like to finally, after, you know, you really had to earn it to get the call from the UFC, and then when you finally came in, you had a first round KO against Marcus Brimage. So what was that like?
It was first getting the call was great, especially because I got the call on my birthday. It was like a nice, great
that's
birthday
awesome.
present.
That's a fucking
Awesome.
present.
Going to Scotland was awesome. Cutting 14 pounds sucked. But getting the win in the first round was great. I mean, I was the second fight of the night, and they know how to party there. It was the second fight of the night. As I'm walking down to go out, you could just smell all the beer. I'm like, it's only the second fight. And you could just smell, it's like being at a concert all day, people drinking all day, or like a frat party, and it's like the next morning you just smell the beer. Well, it was the second fight only, and you could smell all of the beer and the drink, and I'm like, holy shit, I couldn't believe it. But the fans were awesome. It was great. I love Scotland. Glasgow was cool to fight in, especially as the first fight. It was nice to I traveled a good amount in the UFC to fight, and it was fun.
What did that feel like getting your hand raised in the first UFC fight? Just knowing
there's no drug or drink that compares. Yeah, there's no drug or drink that compares. It's awesome. You know, especially getting the win first round, 90 seconds. Right. Tell you that after the fight, I had a Guinness over there. It was the best. I just think it was the best Guinness ever. Nothing compares. When I'm home, we're here in the States. Nothing compares. I got to go back to Glasgow to get another Guinness.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
All right, so we are going to play a little game with you. This is the one thing we never tell our fighters when we send them the interview questions beforehand. This is our favorite. This is our favorite part of every interview we do. Everybody we've had on, they love it. So a lot of people have gone 3 rounds. A lot of people have gone 5 rounds. You're about to go 10 rounds with Rob and Jonathan. These are quick fire answers. They're very serious.
Very serious.
All right. Hold on, I got to get my questions up. All right, here we go. All right, so you just cooked a nice Italian dinner. What do you put on your pasta? Is it gravy or is it sauce?
This all depends on who you are.
Come on, Jimmy. I'm a Southside Chicago Italian. We call it sauce back home. But
sorry, man. Everybody's different.
Yeah,
that's a big thing, though. Like, Jersey and New York. Jersey and New York is all about the gravy.
Yeah, it's close. Like you could be, it could be either or. It depends on where you are and what kind of town you are.
Right.
Yeah. So.
All right. Would you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert?
Extrovert.
Okay.
What was your favorite toy as a kid?
Honestly, I wish I didn't mess it up. It was I had like a whole set of the Ghostbuster, like the
Oh,
old school
yes,
car,
dude.
Awesome.
the fire station, all that. And I was a kid. I'm pretty sure I ruined it. Like I just destroyed it somehow. But I was also like a little kid because I'm like, I wish I kept it good because it would have been worth a lot of money right now.
Yeah.
Those things were awesome. It's like when you like squeeze their legs, like the phaser beams move shit.
Yeah, I just tore it apart. I was like a 5-6-year-old kid.
All right. Name one circumstance where it is okay to commit a crime. This is my favorite one.
I mean, I got 2 of them, but
Okay. Yeah, two of them.
Let's hear it.
If I give off one of them, it'll be a huge thing for people if they fly. If I give off another thing, Lowe's or Home Depot might hate me.
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't know how to be politically correct.
Just fucking let it fly, bro.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I don't want to mess up the airline thing because that works great. So I'm going to talk about, once in a while you go to self-checkout, and this could be ShopRite or wherever you're going. No known brands. You just go self-checkout, and once in a while you're like, oh, set of batteries. Just throw in the bag. There you go.
Set of batteries. Awesome.
They get a lot of my money anyway. I go there all the time. I'm there once a week. So.
Right.
All right. Who is the most fascinating person you've ever met?
Does it have to be famous or does it have?
Yeah,
anything?
no, anybody in your life you met who is the most fascinating person?
I'm gonna have to go recently. This is guy. I'm not gonna mention his name. He's like special, but he has such a good heart.
I love
just
him.
some of the things he does, and you're like, bro, why? And, that's like just common sense, but in a long run, he has such a good heart.
Amazing. Amazing.
Okay, so how would you describe humanity to an alien civilization? That's another good one.
I mean, it's probably not much different. It's like it's just you guys, but we look different. There you go. I would probably say that.
Just a different culture.
You guys are a little smarter or something like that.
Yeah.
Say something like that. But
Right.
yeah.
All right. If there was an Olympic event for everyday activities, which activity would you win the gold medal in?
Oh shit, this is well, I would say right away Lego Master, like Legos, but then Lego Master came out and I'm like, damn, these guys are really good.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say that. That's kind of my Zen Legos, just putting some stuff together. I like putting stuff together.
Right.
What would I win? Oh man, I'm trying to think what I like. There's like so many. I need random stupid.
Like for me, it's napping. I'd win the fucking gold medal in napping.
For what?
Napping, like
Napping. I didn't say nap. What's napping? Napping. I would win the gold medal of watching a TV series. There you go. I guess.
Nice.
There it is.
Yeah, I can watch one and just keep watching it and finish it all the way to the end as long as I have time. I could.
Do you got any, what show are you watching right now? Anything good?
So I just finished The Boys second
So
season.
good.
So good. A little while back, I finished Yellowstone. That was the third
Everybody's
season.
raving about that. I haven't seen it yet.
Bro,
Yeah.
it's great. And if you're a Kevin Costner, it's really good. It's like a mom movie, but Western style. It's really good. I've kind of got into random shows on Netflix just in general, like Schitt's Creek.
Oh,
I got
hysterical.
into it.
Dude, my fiance, she won't stop talking about that show.
Yeah. So they just came out with the last season. I love his 20-minute episodes too. So they just came out with last season. So I just finished it. And what I didn't know was that Eugene Levy, his son is David and his daughter's Twyla in real life. I had no idea.
Yeah. I actually, the last pilot I did for Fox, Sarah, the daughter, me and her, we're both on the same cast together. So the family's amazing. Dude. They're all great. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, cool people. Super popular, and I heard it in Canada, right? That show's super, super popular.
They're Canadian, and
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, and it swept the Emmys. It won like best comedy, best actor, best supporting actor, best actor.
That's what I heard.
Swept the whole.
Couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay, so if not blue, what color do you think the sky should be?
If not blue. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I mean, technically, the sky really isn't blue.
Right.
It's the reflection of the water. It's white.
Right.
So
right.
I'm gonna go white.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, this is my last one. Name a movie that made you cry.
Oh man, I'm very hungry. I think any dog movie makes me cry,
Same.
and my wife won't watch it because she'll tear up like no other. We're big dog lovers. Like we let our dogs sleep in our bed, couch, everything. They cuddle with us. Like I was actually thinking about what Olympic sport, cuddle with my dog.
That's a good one. There's another one.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Our dogs aren't small. Like our 2-year-old is 120 pounds.
Wow.
Our
What kind of
1-year-old
a
is
dog is it?
135.
What kind of dogs are these?
Leon Burgers.
Oh wow.
Leon Burgers. Yeah, you got to look it up.
Yeah, you never heard of
And our puppy, he's like 60 pounds and only 5 months.
Literally,
Wow.
your dog could fight at bantamweight.
that.
Literally, the boy, Duke can.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the art race in the rain I saw recently. There was another one. Oh my god, with what's his name? Dennis Quaid. I can't think of the name. I'll tell you, any dog movie will get me. I will tell you that.
So
right
you're in for a good one. I've been friends with Channing Tatum for a long time. We both did one of our first movies together way back in the day, and he has a new movie coming out called Dog. That's like
great. Yeah, it'll make you cry. If it's sad, it'll make you cry.
bring a box of tissues when you watch it.
Nice.
Yeah. So for sure.
All right, last one for me. If you could teach your good, this is great. If you could teach your pet to say one thing, what would it be?
Dad. I would teach you to say dad.
Yeah.
Especially to my
Can you
baby girl.
imagine? Can you
Dad.
imagine coming
Awesome.
home and your dog's like, Dad?
Yeah.
Come here.
Like I think the only reason dogs love me more is I always give them treats.
Yeah.
And my wife's a little more stern with them.
Right.
But no matter what's crazy is Harley's our first dog we got. She's a girl. We have Harley's a girl, Duke's the boy, and then we have Mikey, who's a boy. Harley is like attached to my hip. It's like having a daughter, but daughter that doesn't talk back, that doesn't go through her teenage years, like literally just loves you. Like that's the best thing, you do you ever hear the case study where you lock your wife and your dog in the trunk of a car and you open it up 20 hours later, who's going to be happy to see you? Come on. Simple. Always the dog.
That's unconditional
Awesome.
love.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like I don't have kids yet, but we're gonna have them soon. And I'm like, it's not like I can't throw my dog in the crate and my kid in the crate, be like, "All right, bad kid, that's it," So yeah. You know what's very fearful? My wife and I have spoke about it all the time. She's like, you can't tell people this. I'm like, no, it's funny, Like I tell people all the time, like she killed Bambi at 10. She's like, people don't feel comfortable. I'm like, so what? But you did. I'm like, I'm like, she's a better shot than I am. She grew up in Quakertown, PA. She's a country girl. Nice. So I go, we've talked about it. I'm like, are we gonna love our dogs more than our kids? I'm like, no, we don't have kids yet. We can't really compare. But like our dogs don't talk back. They love us, Like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know either. So that's like a huge question. Like, do you guys have kids?
I don't.
Yeah, I have 2 girls.
Okay. Do you have dogs?
And I have dogs. Yeah, I have a German Shepherd and a Shih Tzu.
Okay, so what do you love more, your dogs or your kids? Are you going to be if you answer this? I know what a Shih Tzu is, but I'm sure your German Shepherd. That might be a little closer to it, but I'm not sure.
Well, they're both like the Shih Tzu is my dog, like completely my dog. He doesn't even like the kids, and so he's my buddy. He's always next to me. And then the German Shepherd, it's a girl, and she's just like nuts, but she's always like she's basically following me around too. But if I had to pick one, I think I have to go with the kids here.
How old are your kids?
7 and 9. So they're still.
Do they watch this podcast?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
Hey kids, He loves you. The dogs.
Amazing.
Oh my God, that's so
well,
funny.
Jimmie, look, man, that's all we got for you. Thank you so much, man. You're just such a fucking down to earth guy, dude. It was a
Yeah.
pleasure having you on the pleasure having you on a
Appreciate
podcast, and you know, I look forward to watching your star rise in the UFC, man.
Absolutely, man. Thank
Great.
you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Listen, tag me in it so I can repost it right away.
Absolutely.
For you guys. It comes out
Friday.
Comes out today, right? Do I play it
Comes
today?
out today.
Today, right? Today.
Right.
But I always mess that up. That's like, a big thing, when you do interviews with UFC. It's like you can't say cage, octagon. So now it's like people talk about, like, yeah, you mean the octagon? Yeah, the octagon. I'm like, oh, it's just one of those things.
It's all good. All right, well, everybody, thank you for tuning in. I'm Jonathan.
Thanks, guys. I'm Rob.
And that's Jimmie.
I'm Jimmie Rivera.
Fucking Rivera. All right, guys,
Thank
take
you,
care.
man,
We'll
so
see you
much.
next time.
No problem. Have a good one,
All right, man.
guys. Take care.